really screwed my pipeline up, my sales cycle, and I don't really know where to start.
Okay.
And maybe this is just something we can learn from, because basically my quarter one is just looking super shot, because maybe three or four of my big deals just went totally belly up.
Okay.
My February 1st is almost zero, like zero, and then my March 1st, which was supposed to be huge for me, looking like it's bellying up too, because my big client, I went to the in-person meeting last week. We proposed everything. I went through my sales cycle. Like, I went in and said all the stuff that we do. What's the most important thing we touch on today? I had everything lined up, but they totally curveballed me on that account too. And I'm kind of like freaking out a little bit.
All right. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Can you see all the other attendees there? There's a lot of people on camera.
Yeah.
For those of you on camera, okay, where Pete's at right now is he's found himself in a hole, right? And he's not making excuses. He's got some excuses. Whatever, it is what it is. Okay, he's in a hole. Give Pete a thumbs up if you've been in a hole like that before. Okay, good. So you're not alone, Pete. So don't freak out. Here's what we can do really quick. And I know it's not like a private you and I, but let's talk a little bit about how you can get out of this hole. And other people on here, I think will benefit from this as well. One of the things that I know you've been paying a lot of attention, Pete, I know you've been on a lot of these sessions, that's going to be vital for you, and you just have to fight your emotions on this, is I need you to be in that 80-20 or 85-15, ideally, with the hole that you're in. And this is going to suck, right? This is like tearing off the Band-Aid. I need you to be spending 80% of your time or 85% of your time working on putting new deals in your pipeline. What ends up happening when we get in a hole, okay, give me a thumbs up, guys, if you've done this before. You get yourself in a hole and you become myopic in a sense of all you think about are those deals that you have to close. And the more they don't close, the more you focus on the ones that are left that have to close. And what this becomes is a downward spiral. And it's actually the other way around. When you're in a hole, you just have to have faith. You have to trust your process in those ones that you already have, but you have to go get some others, right? This is like we're climbing Mount Everest and we're running low on rope. We got to find some new rope. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't even, if all of these deals that you have close, maybe that will save you, but they're not going to, right? So I need you to spend, now you said crap with the fires and all of that. You might have to do some long nights, okay? And this is where I need you to be economical with the time in the day that you have. And you might have some emails that get a little bit later responded, but let's start, like if you're working a daily goal sheet, let's start looking at the stuff that we have to do, and then let's also be economical about the times to do it. So those hours when somebody's going to answer the phone, let's make sure that we're spending those prospecting, right? And then emails that can be done maybe a little bit later or while you're eating a sandwich or whatever, let's do it there. But let's talk about how you can reach out to some people and maybe get some deals going on the fast track. Pete, you said your insurance, you work with brokers. Real quick, like 1-2 sentences. What do you do and what's the benefit of them working with you?
Yeah, so I work as a general agent on group medicals on the commercial side. We've talked a little bit about this before, so people probably know about this here. But as a general agent, basically, I function in a sort of consulting in between role. So what I do is I make the broker's life easier by running all the background stuff, like all the proposals, building up tech for them to do open enrollments. I do market analysis, networks if they're moving companies onto certain medical networks. I basically need to be like the know-it-all for anything commercial insurance in terms of group medical, dental, vision, long-term, short-term disabilities, like all those ancillary lines. We work with PEOs, which you're very familiar with. We work with, all the carriers. And basically, either the insurance brokerages are big and they only focus on group medical, and we'll work with them to help them. or the insurance, which is what I'm running into now, they work on multiple lines. So if they're a broker that's working with fires or they have homeowners, they're distracted right now.
Mhm.
And so I'm running into, that's kind of why my pipelines got caught up, because a lot of my property and casualty brokers that lean on me have just gotten completely distracted by dealing with people, of course, that's homes have just burnt down. And
Yep.
so they've screwed their renewals, and I'm dependent on moving renewals and doing that business. So
Okay. I may be crazy, and I may have wax in my ears, or a little bit of, got a little cauliflower ear from all the wrestling that I do. But I thought I might have just heard an insight there. Did anybody else maybe kind of hear an insight there? Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know, but it might be a good time, okay? Because what I heard was, okay, what I do is I help brokers. Are you the general agent, or do you help general agents? I can't remember which
no,
one.
I am the general
Okay,
agent.
I'm the general agent. I help all of these brokers. Is that a true statement? You're a general agent, you help all these brokers. Yes or no, true?
Yes.
Okay. You take work off of their plate as a general agent because you help assist them with the back office stuff. True or false?
True.
Okay. There's a bunch of fires that just happened in California. I know my daughter is right in a little island in the middle of all of them at Loyola Marymount. She's just fine. Thanks for asking, guys. But I know exactly what they're going through. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they have a lot of policies that just went into force and they've got to do a lot of stuff. Correct? Yes
That's
or no?
true.
Okay, that might be hurting some of your existing deals, but this might actually be a way to absolutely supercharge your pipeline. How? We can deliver a hook. Can you get a list of all of these agents and brokers? Can you get names and numbers of people you don't currently work with but want to work with?
Yeah,
Yes?
I have like probably 10,000 that I've actively
Awesome.
worked, throughout Southern California.
Perfect.
I can call on.
Perfect. So I want you, it's going to be up here as soon as I can get the colors in and the price. By the way, there's going to be typos. I'll fix them. I made the typos myself, guys. I'm the worst with typos, but the ECCP course is going live. I want you to watch the ECCP course, and then I want you to come up with a hook, right? And that hook might be something going on that all of the brokers here in Southern California are having to deal with. Nobody is talking about it. There's something going on in terms of these fires that every one of you guys is having to deal with, and nobody's talking about it. I'm on my mobile, 720-660. Yeah, what's going on, Pete? What's going on with the fire? Here's what's going on. You guys, like never before, are having to deal with policies. You're having to deal with this. You're being slammed, and you have to, dare I say, triage your time in the day to be able to serve the clients that you have and the policyholders that you have right now that are experiencing these losses. How are you dealing with the fact that you have to be the face of the brokerage and you have to have some very, very uncomfortable and difficult conversations, yet at the same time continue to run your business and make sure that your business is in a position to, survive all of this? Right? If Dave Gast is a broker and I ask Dave that, we're probably going to have a conversation. Dave's going to be like, it really does suck. I've lost this. I've lost it. Yeah, what I wanted to bring to your attention is here's what nobody's talking about. And that is this whole concept of triage. Some of the times, we're in a once in a generation type of situation here in the Southern California area. I mean, we always do have fires, but nothing to the degree that we've had here in terms of property loss. What nobody's talking about is the ability within that brokerage to start to go, okay, here's where my time needs to be spent. Here's where my effort needs to be spent. Here's where my energy needs to be spent, right? Something that I'm able to do is take some of that work off of your plate, the blocking and tackling, the back office type of work, so that you guys can focus on not only making sure that everybody's taken care of right now, but then also doing the prospecting that you need to do, replacing the policyholders that are going to be completely gone because they're a total loss and they're going to decide to move to, Iowa or someplace out of your thing. It's a conversation that's worth having. And then that brings you, if they're like, man, I'm all good, I can't think about it right now, that puts you, once you've delivered the insight first, that puts you in a position to then deliver a net outcome statement, right? Hey, Pete, I really appreciate it. We're just so slammed right now, Pete. We're just dying. We're just clawing. We can't even think about new relationships. No problem. I will be here when you need to streamline things and take that workload off of the back end of everything so that you guys can not only get through this, but thrive and hit your growth goals, hit your rebuilding. You know, you're not the homeowners are not the only ones that are going to be rebuilding here, that the agencies and the brokerages are. I will be here when you need help with all of that back office support so that you can rebuild, thrive, and hit your goals ahead of schedule and under budget. Fair enough? And you're going to find if you can have 5, even just 5 of those calls in a day, even if all 5 people are like, I'm too busy to talk to you, they will rapidly start coming back to you. Because everybody that's too busy to talk to somebody who's going to take work off their plate in a week is going to be like, I cannot handle all of this. And they're going to be like, well, what are our choices? Well, we could hire somebody. They're not trained, right? We can't find anybody. Well, why don't I call that Pete guy and see what he can take off of our plate? So although this catastrophe that's happened in Southern California is really messing up everybody, the fact that they're messed up really bodes well for you in terms of being able to help them. I'm not saying we're taking advantage of a tragedy here, but you're able to help them grow their practice. So there's a glass half full aspect to that. Does that make sense, Pete?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's like you said, I'm looking forward to this new course because it's time to get back on the, time to get those calls in every morning, right?
Yep, and this will help you because here's the problem. And I just want to make sure that I'm clear on this, right? Like, if you see somebody and it's like love at first sight and you love that person and you know they're perfect for you and you want to marry them, you can't walk up to them and go, you're perfect for me, I'm perfect for you, let's get married. Ow, they would slap you. Like just in our normal life, we have to slow down, and that's where that hook, right? There's something going on that nobody's talking about. I wanted to make sure you were aware of it. There's something in, like right out of the course, there's a heads up hook. There's something I want to give you guys a heads. I know you guys are slammed. I know you guys are probably working long hours. There is something going on that I wanted to give you a heads up on, right? What's up, Pete? Here's what's up, okay? I'm working with hundreds of brokers in the exact same position that you are. I don't have to tell you. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You guys are overworked, okay? You're working long hours. You're having very difficult, very uncomfortable, both in terms of the difficult nature of the conversation, but the emotional nature of the conversation. You guys are dealing with things at a level we've never dealt with them before. Here's what I want to give you a heads up on. For the agencies, for the brokerages that simply work the problem in front of them right now, they are going to be faced with their own catastrophe 6 months, 9 months, a year from now, because they're not able to devote the resources that they need to devote to grow the business, to replace the clients that are going to move out of the area or move out of the asset class, right? How are you guys dealing with that juggling of both handling the emergency factor of your clients right now, but then also working on the business and not just in the business, right? And it's right there in the ECCP course. You could go from a big hole right now to 4 or 5x of what your plan was simply by having that message, because nobody helping these brokers is even making these calls. And many of them are doing just the opposite. Many of them are like, oh, don't call SoCal. Guys, don't call SoCal. They're in the middle of a crisis, right? No, you need to drop in like the freaking smoke jumpers and drop in there, and not in a high pressure way, but I'm here. I've got my shovel. I'm ready to help you guys dig. I wanted to make sure that you were aware if we don't start putting some fire lines up, this fire is going to cross into that section the exact same way that we put fires out. These agencies are on fire. You have to make sure that they're aware of that, because that's exactly what's going to happen to them. I've seen this movie before. If they spend all of their time servicing their clients, many of those clients that are about to get a check, hopefully they get a big one, right, to rebuild their life, are looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get permits, right? And they're like, I ain't going to do this anymore. The entire Palisades, most of those people are not coming back to the Palisades. How does that affect brokers? That affects brokers because they ain't going next door either, right? A lot of them are going to get a condo in Miami. A lot of them are going to do something else. If it was a business, there's many clients that not only are we going to require a tremendous amount of customer service right now, but are not going to be there when that broker needs them to be there to be a client. So this broker needs to service those people as promised, right? They have a fiduciary and a moral obligation to their current clients. They also have a fiduciary and a moral obligation to themselves as a business to replace those clients. One of the ways that they can get extra time to do that is by shoving off any work that is not client service or sales. And that's all the stuff you're doing in back office. Would love to pick up, even if I could pick you up an extra 3 hours per person per day, that's going to be the difference maker in you guys growing your business. And I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt here, but that's the kind of track where it's like, damn, I'm glad that Pete person called me. If you like this video, I got you. I'm going to hook you up. Click the link in my bio. I'm going to give you the closing mini masterclass. It's normally $300. I'm going to pay for everything. You're going to close a lot more business. You're going to make a lot more money. You're going to have a lot more fun. And you're going to be like, Matt Easton changed my life. And I'm going to be like, yes, I did. Did we just become best friends? And you're going to say, yes, we did. And then you and I are going to be best friends and it'll be great. So click the link in my bio so we can be friends and you can close more business and I'll cover all the cost. See you there.